Trying to get started with the press conference to preview tomorrow's game against LAFC. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, morning. I think there's one word that we've used a lot this week, and that's bounce back and respond to what was a real disappointing, really disappointing performance and results, especially. We've been analysing it a lot, and there was nothing in the 8 weeks that we've had together as this team that showed me any signs that we were going to get that kind of performance last Sunday. So that was a real jolt for us in terms of sort of like the momentum that we felt that it was building. So we've regrouped, we're going to respond, and in terms of the players that we've got available tomorrow, Damien Lowe, Kieran Gibbs, Bryce Duke wants to play against his old team. Ryan Saylor's nearly back with us. So we've got a good group of players coming back into close to being in contention. Robbie Robinson's close. Victor Joas is getting there. So we're getting the nucleus of our depth back in our squad. But tomorrow is about us responding and sticking to the game plan that we know we've got. And it was the manner, it's probably the scoreline that hurt more than anything, and the manner in which we lost our discipline and shape. And that's something that we've worked from day one on. So tomorrow, I expect us to be back to what we've worked on, back doing the things that we've worked on, and for the players to take real ownership when they're out there on the pitch. And there's no better way in football is to get straight back on the horse and get straight back out there and do your talking on the field. And that's how I feel coming to this press conference today, is that we've got to do our talking on the field. And tomorrow we will do that. We owe our supporters a performance. And for me, it's about building a fortress here at the Drive Pink Stadium to make sure that when teams come here, it's going to be hard, and we're going to make it where we're successful in our home games.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. All right, we'll get started with Jose.
Close, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Figueroa has been with us this week. A player that I don't think there's that many players still playing now that I played against, and he's one for Wigan. And it's he's had an incredible career. I think 182 caps for Honduras. And there was at the lunch table the other day, and somebody said, have a guess how many caps he's got for Honduras. And we all started at 70, 80, 90, and eventually we got to 180. So he's had a tremendous career in terms of the durability to never get injured, to go, that's probably 20 international appearances a season. So we've had him with us this week. Well, we've looked at him all week, but unfortunately it's not something that we're going to take up. We spoke to him this morning. A fantastic boy, but we're just looking for probably something a little bit different. But we wish him all the best. He really has got a wand of a left foot.
All right, next question, Steve.
We know it's a transitional phase, all that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
After results like that, do you go mad at them? Do you go crazy in the changing room? Do you hold back and just understand it's the bigger picture? It's one of you, it's one of everyone.
Yeah, I mean, because they're a young team, and because of the manner of the defeat, it was hard to really shout and bawl at them, really. I wanted to know why. That was the biggest thing. I wanted to know why. We made them sit through the video of the game and certain periods of the game, and wanted to know why they did things that they did. And with a new team, what you need your experienced players to show leadership, to show accountability. And what I found in the meeting during the week is we had a lot of players that were willing to take accountability and that were willing to put their head above the parapet to say, no, we need to do this better. We need to do these situations better. We need to stick to the game plan. And I think that's the evolution of a new team, is that last Sunday was probably a jolt to us all in terms of sort of like how early we are in the rebuild. But But that's not an excuse for some of the things I've seen. That's not an excuse for hiding behind what for me, I take full responsibility was for a poor result for this football club. But we are in the early stages. We have rebuilt, and you know, the big disappointment was that I'd not seen those characteristics or behaviours. I'd not seen those characteristics or behaviours in any preseason game. And tomorrow we need to get back to the characteristics that I believe are important for successful teams.
We'll go to Franco, then Austin.
So what kind of game are you expecting from
Well, I mean, I think they've got outstanding ability in the front half in the top end of the pitch. They've got a new coach who plays a real distinct system in football, which you can see it's really clear, coming off the back of a really disappointing season last year, where for their talent they probably expected more, just like ourselves, and who started the season really well, and they look like they've got real confidence, and they've got a player in Rodriguez and in Vela who can win games on their own. You've seen that in the first game with Carlos Vela as another player that I know very well for Sociedad and for Arsenal, saw a lot of. And individual players in this league of that ability are the difference makers. And that's what we're looking at from our difference makers. They've got to win games of football for us. And like Vela did in the first game for LAFC. So they're a real dangerous side, and a side that's full of confidence, and a side that will want to get into those playoffs like they didn't last year.
Next question, Austin, then Chris Whittingham.
Yeah, we've offered him an MLS homegrown contract, and he signed it this week, which is brilliant news for the club. We've not announced it yet because we're waiting for paperwork.
Final
Paperwork, which tends to take longer than expected. But he's now an MLS player, and we wanted to use this period in pre-season to see how he developed, to see the challenge that's in front of him. I think what we've seen in the first two games is everything that you want to see. He's got incredible talent that needs time to develop. He was disappointed to be subbed at half time, but I felt as if we needed a little bit more experience on the pitch. But he's well in my plans. He knows we think a lot of him, and he knows he's got a lot of work to do to keep improving. And he's another one on the production line that we want to produce our own to get into the first team and stay in the first team. So it was a proud moment for him and his family this week that he's worked so hard to earn his MLS contract.
Next question, Chris Whittingham, then Michelle Kaufman.
Now that you've had the chance to start both Campana and Lassiter,
Yeah.
Can you compare and contrast what they offer?
Campagna, they're both totally different. They're both totally different in terms of sort of like Lassiter is, you think about counterattacks, you think about speeding behind, you think about that unpredictability. I think that's what Ariel brings, and I've been really happy with how he's settled into the football club, and he says the same thing. With Campagna, I think there's another 40% to come from him in terms of his. I think there's goals. You think about his goals last week was a real top class finish. In terms of his gaining confidence in his he's 21, but probably got a physique of a 28-year-old. So he needs to gain confidence in his body that he can start dominating centre backs. With his size, he should be dominating centre backs, and that's what we've been working really hard with him. Is that with that type of physique, he should be dominating centre backs. We saw a little bit last week. We saw a little bit in the Chicago game. So tomorrow will be another example for both of them to show their qualities. They're both going to play probably in most games this season, with the way that we've done our roster, and I think that the chances that Campagna gets means he's a tremendous goal threat. What we've challenged Ariel to do is when he gets the same chances is to be a little bit more composed. And I think there's goals in both of them. And what it does do, it gives us great options to play two different types of profile strikers with Gonzalo.
Michelle Kaufman, then Mike DiPasquale.
Hello, everybody from Brooklyn, New York. I had two quick questions. Phil, you mentioned earlier Damon, Kieran, and Bryce. Are they ready for tomorrow or they're not ready for tomorrow? I just wasn't clear on that. Did
I've
you say
avoided
that?
that for the last three questions. Look, I think Damien and Gibbs have got a great chance. Bryce just wants to play because it's his old team. So I think Bryce has got the lesser of the chance. If you was putting it in order, Lowe, Gibbs, and Bryce from top to bottom.
Okay. And then, all right, thank you. And then the second part of my question is, do you anticipate using a similar or same starting lineup, or do you think you're going to make some adjustments for LAFC tomorrow than what you did last week?
Well, thinking about Gibbs and Lowe being back, we've got the flexibility to make changes. I think in the first two games, you've seen the rotation between Campagna and Lassiter. So we've got really good options. We've got good depth, and without wanting to name my starting lineup, we want consistency, we want continuity, and more importantly, we want a result. So we'll pick the best team with the best system to get a result tomorrow.
Next question, Mike DiPasquale.
Thank you, Rafa. Good afternoon, Phil.
Hi,
I
Mike.
wanted to ask you, you talked about regrouping this week. Going into tomorrow's match with the players that you have compared to a year ago, because you had talked about earlier that these are my boys, these are the players that we wanted, players that play as a group, not individuals. Do you feel better about going into tomorrow's game coming off of a loss the way you did, having the players that you have right now?
Yeah, I do, because these are the boys that we've chosen. We trust them, we believe in them, and I know that I'll get a response tomorrow. I've got every confidence that I will get a response tomorrow. They've been so open and honest this week in terms of their reflections of last week, and even in sort of like the times last week, they worked their absolute socks off. They tried to do the right things, and I think the balance that I've had all week, even though it's been a real it's been a week where we've been really sort of like disappointed, is that it's the second game of the season. Time to bounce back. You're better off having the jolt on the second day than 6-7 games in or further in when you can't recover. So tomorrow is about responding with the things that we've worked really hard on. We got this group in virtually on the first day of pre-season. We worked really hard in the off season about getting the boys in early so they can spend time together to build a team. We're still in that period where we're building trust and confidence in each other, or they're building trust and confidence in each other. Tomorrow is just another great example in football, and I think no other sport probably gives you this, where you just got to get out there and do your talking on the pitch, get out there and show everybody that you're a team that's got the ability to beat a really good team like LAFC. So this week has been less about the talking and more about the action, less about the talking and more about the responsibility to get a performance tomorrow. And if we get a performance and if we stick to the game plan, then the result tends to look after itself.
We'll do the last two questions, Thomas, and then we're going to go to Franco.
Yes, Phil.
Thomas, how you doing?
Our two players, Motta and Taylor, were both quite versatile, play different positions. Where do you see Motta's role and his relationship with Gregory, and where did Taylor fit in best for you going forward?
Yeah, well, I think they're both probably, along with Gonzalo, our best technical players, Taylor, Motta, and Gonzalo. So Taylor and Motta are our best technical players that will help us possess the ball better. Taylor, we have to be patient with, because he's coming on the back of no pre-season, and even in the games that we've put him on in last week, he had a 20-minute period where he had 3 opportunities, nearly scored. The last 20 minutes, he literally could hardly move his legs because of the intensity of the game and his lack of preparation. So at best, he's probably got 45 minutes in him. But what I've seen this week is a real determination for him to want to start the game. I think his best positions that we've seen him in, that we scouted him in, have been off the left-hand side, have been in the wing-back position, or have been in the number 10 position. He's a creative player. He wants to possess the ball. He wants to manipulate the ball. And Motta's the same. And what we need to do is find the right service to these players, the right composure to give them the right pass, the right composure to give them the pass that gives them the time on the ball, which will give us better control in the game.
Last question, Franco.
Yeah.
But you stuck with it. Game started with that system. What is it that you like about that system, and for you guys, how important is it to get better with in transitional moments, being a little bit sharper with the ball?
Yeah, I think we went to the system in the second half because we need to get 2 goals back, and we needed to get Robert Taylor on the pitch, and I wanted to get as many attacking players on the pitch that I possibly could, which meant we went to a 4. The 3 at the back system, I think, has helped the younger centre backs. Thinking about Ian Frey before his injury, Jairo, and Chris McVeigh coming in, it just gives them a little bit of extra protection. But we worked in pre-season on 2 systems: 4 at the back, 5 at the back. We wanted flexibility and adaptability. We know that Robert Taylor can play in central midfield with Motta. We know he can play up front in the 10. We know Mo Adams has got flexibility as well. So I think throughout the season you'll see us be really adaptable with our systems. Ultimately, tomorrow is about our attitudes, about our consistency in our play, and about the confidence and bravery to go out there and perform for Inter Miami.
Thank you, coach.
Thanks, guys. Who's on next?
Well,